Welcome back. There's been something of a buzz in the space exploration community since atmospheric scientists at Cambridge University detected molecules with big potential. Rob Thacker is an astrophysicist, a St. Mary's University professor. He's our guide to what's happening in space, and we've put you right into space with our background here. We're floating out in the middle of somewhere. Okay, there was this recent excitement. Splashed across media, social media in particular, about what these scientists at Cambridge have revealed. I'm going to get you to explain it. Chemical fingerprints, right, discovered on a distant exoplanet by NASA's James Webb. There we are talking about the James Webb telescope, yet again providing images like this. Okay, set the stage for us.
Okay.
Exoplanet, how far is this thing? How big is it?
Okay, so it's 124 light years away.
Which means what?
So in galactic terms, that's actually pretty close. But if you want to get on a spaceship and go there, if we go on the fastest, or one of the fastest we built, Voyager 1, it's going to take you over 2 million years to get there. So don't wait up. But anyway, we have the light from it. And so this project is literally looking at the tiny amount of light that goes through the atmosphere of the planet as it goes in front of its star, right? And so we can detect whether there are molecules in the atmosphere of that planet absorbing light from the star that comes to us, right? So literally, you can see like there's a hole in the spectrum, as we call it. And so they've been able to show that there's a high probability that there are holes in the spectrum associated with a molecule called dimethyl sulfide.
DSM?
DMS, which sounds like some crazy concoction, but actually is produced by algae in our own oceans and goes into our own atmosphere. And so finding that has obviously led to the question, where is that coming from, right? Could it possibly be a sign of life? And that's what's got everyone abuzz, because looking for those things that we call biomarkers is the thing about how we're going to find life on another planet.
Is it a leap from detecting that to then saying there could be life, there could be water, this could be something that we recognize that would provide the environment or the building blocks for something akin to life?
So that is the question, right? And if you look at the actual paper that the scientists wrote, they're fairly careful to say that there are other ways to produce this particular molecule that aren't what we call biotic. So this can happen in what we call haze chemistry. Literally put a bunch of molecules together in an atmosphere, shine light on it. What happens? What chemical processes happens? And it turns out you can produce this molecule by that process. And so there needs to be a lot more research done. I mean, there are even some people debating whether it is DMS in the spectrum or not. And so inevitably, as we always say, more data is needed.
How's this being received in your community among scientists? I'm sure there's great debate.
Yeah, so absolutely. And in fact, there's been a little bit of a, how can I put it, a little bit of a bust up on social media about the paper, which is very carefully written, doesn't overclaim anything, versus the press release that went out. In fact, well, I don't encourage people to go and read that, but as a professional astronomer, it was quite interesting to read. So there's a lot of concern that there may be a little bit too much of a reach with the data as it stands, but there's an obvious reason why. They need more data, so they need to create a splash. I mean, that's understandable.
We're looking at some images now, and we're showing, you know, these animations and that. Is it disingenuous to be providing visuals like this, which don't really, that wouldn't really reflect what we're seeing?
So I'll say the star is the right color, but in terms of the actual planet itself, this is what we call a candidate Hycean world. Hycean, what does that mean? Hydrogen, a lot of hydrogen in the atmosphere, and Cean is ocean. So hydrogen, atmosphere, ocean, planet. Now, we think that's what it is. It could actually be something with a very molten surface as well. It's fairly close in, but not too close in to its star. It's in what we call the habitable zone. So we don't know for sure. And in fact, more data on the atmosphere especially would help us to understand that.
Okay, that was my next question. What do you and your colleagues around the world, what would you like to see to give greater weight to what they're talking?
So in terms of the actual quality of the data that James Webb has taken, doing more observations will help with that. It will reduce what we call the signal to noise. How strong is the signal that we're seeing versus random fluctuations? That just takes more time observing, and I'm pretty convinced that they will get more time to do that. The harder part of all of this is understanding, where did the DMS come from? Could it be this so-called abiotic, i.e. not a biological process, or could it be a biological process? And, you know, to be honest, it's really, really difficult to actually analyze the second one, because all we have are algae in our oceans for understanding the biological processes. There could be some completely other different form of life that we don't know about.
And this is a study period of many years. We're not going to get an answer or a clear picture in the next,
So the one good thing about this particular planet is it's actually fairly close to its star, right? But it's not a planet that's like the Earth. It's twice the mass of the Earth. It's really quite big. That's probably why it's got this big ocean on it. And so we'll actually get data every 30 days as it transits around. So we can actually get data for this particular planet fairly quickly. But if we wanted to do, say, an Earth twin around another star, that would be, as everyone knows, we orbit once a year. Right. So you take one orbit, wait another year, get another one, get another one. It would literally take 10 years to do this around an Earth-like planet.
Is the real star here the James Webb telescope itself? Is this fulfilling the promise of James Webb when it was launched and everybody was excited about what this could do?
Well, and we were really nervous about all of the deployment and so on. Yes, absolutely. James Webb has been a fantastic discovery vehicle. So many things have been found. I mean, I won't say it's absolutely revolutionized textbooks. That's not correct. But it has allowed us to understand a lot more of the details that really we were kind of scratching to get with previous systems. Now it's filling in a lot of gaps.
And is it just providing a mass of information that that experts like yourself are able to sort of hive off and study? Are there multiple studies like this going on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the one thing that isn't perfect about James Webb is it's looking in a very specific part of the electromagnetic spectrum, looking at infrared radiation. And so that really makes us focus on a certain type of star for these kind of studies. So we're building bigger telescopes on the ground that will allow us to look at other types of stars, look more in the optical wavelengths. And so those all will complement JWST.
It's fascinating. We could talk about this all day. We're going to be hearing a lot about this. I love the idea of astrophysicists battling it out online in chat rooms about the veracity of this. Thank you for coming in and offering some clarity on this, because it's certainly been out there. A lot of media on it, so it's good to talk about it.
I'll take a bet. I'm back here in a year about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. Rob Thacker, we will take a break. We'll be back with much more of your local news after this.